They laughed when my husband slapped me in front of 600 people. None of them had any idea that one single phone call was about to destroy everything they had spent decades building. My name is Natalie. For 10 years, I believed love was stronger than money, status, or family wealth. I worked as a historic property consultant, restoring old buildings and preserving forgotten landmarks. My husband, Brandon, built his reputation as an executive at his father's prestigious investment firm. I never cared about jewelry, luxury cars, or elite social circles. I only wanted a husband who loved and respected me. His family never saw me that way. To them, I was simply the ordinary woman their son had settled for. Everything changed during a lavish anniversary gala. More than 600 of the city's most influential people filled that ballroom: politicians, business leaders, celebrities, wealthy investors. As everyone raised their glasses, my father-in-law took the stage, and instead of celebrating the company, he decided to humiliate me in front of every single one of them. He proudly announced his son had rescued a woman with no status, no connections, no value, called me nothing more than a family charity project. The room erupted with laughter. I searched the crowd for one person to defend me. My husband looked straight into my eyes, smiled, and raised his glass in agreement with every cruel word. I refused to give any of them the satisfaction of watching me cry. I calmly walked to the microphone, thanked my father-in-law for reminding everyone about charity, and then I revealed something that instantly changed the atmosphere in that room. Only weeks earlier, I had secretly transferred $200,000 from my own business to save my husband's failing investment account from total collapse. Without my money, their family fortune would have been gone. The laughter stopped. Investors exchanged nervous glances, realizing the family they admired had just been rescued by the very woman they'd mocked seconds earlier. My husband lost control completely. His face turned red. He crossed the ballroom before anyone could react, and slapped me with enough force that I crashed straight into a towering champagne display. Hundreds of crystal glasses shattered around me as I hit the floor. Blood mixed with champagne on the marble tile, and 600 guests watched in complete silence. Not one person stepped forward. I slowly stood up, wiped the blood from my lip, and walked away with the only thing none of them could ever take from me: my dignity. Alone in the restroom, staring at the bruise spreading across my face, I finally accepted something painful. For 10 years, I had wasted my life trying to earn the respect of people who had already decided I would never be enough. I reached into my purse, unlocked my phone, and called the one person I had avoided for an entire decade. When my father answered, I said only 3 words. "Dad, please come." I went home to collect my things and leave for good. Instead, I found the locks already changed and everything I owned stuffed into garbage bags on the porch. While grabbing my passport and documents, I found another woman's lingerie on our bed. Before I could even process it, Brandon showed up with his lawyer, carrying divorce papers designed to leave me with absolutely nothing. They mocked me, threatened lawsuits, proudly announced they'd already moved my money somewhere I couldn't touch it. They thought I was completely powerless. Instead of signing, I tore the papers in half and dropped them at their feet. Furious, Brandon dragged me outside and threw me into freezing rain, certain I had nowhere left to go and nobody left who'd help me. Seconds later, 3 black luxury SUVs pulled up outside the house. Security stepped out first. Then the rear door opened for one man. My father walked toward me, took off his own coat, placed it over my shoulders, looked at the bruise on my face, and said quietly, "Their game is over." Brandon laughed. He assumed my father was just another wealthy businessman. He had no idea who he was actually looking at. Here's what I had hidden through my entire marriage. My father is the billionaire founder of one of the largest financial empires in the country. Years earlier, I had walked away from that entire world on purpose. I wanted to build something of my own, without my family name attached to it. I wanted someone to love me for who I was, not for the fortune behind my last name. Instead, I married a man who cared more about appearances than loyalty. Once I arrived at my father's headquarters, everything changed. His team uncovered proof that Brandon, his father, and their lawyer had stolen from my savings, hidden money in shell companies, manipulated client accounts, and committed massive financial fraud just to keep their business breathing. Their empire was drowning in debt. The only thing keeping it afloat was a desperate attempt to secure a $150 million bailout. Here's the part they didn't see coming. The company they were begging for a rescue belonged to my father, and I had just accepted a senior executive position there. They thought they were walking into a meeting that would save their collapsing empire. They were actually walking straight into a trap I had already prepared. While they celebrated what they thought was a victory, they spread lies about me, told everyone I was a gold digger who had lost everything. Brandon even texted me, proudly claiming I would die broke, alone, and forgotten. What he didn't know was that my father's financial investigators had already traced every illegal transaction, frozen every major account, and gathered more than enough evidence to bring their entire empire down. They believed humiliating me was the end of my story. It was only the beginning. The slap they thought would break me became the exact mistake that destroyed everything they had spent a lifetime building. Sometimes karma doesn't arrive with anger or revenge. Sometimes it arrives quietly, carrying the truth, and leaves with everything the guilty thought they would keep forever.